This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
3 homers by 3 key Angels: Trout, Schanuel, Adell, and surely a win. Surely hope for next season. Nope, just kidding. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels POSTCAST, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and the Angels lose, even when it's not a game that they should. The rare opportunity in the second half of the season to have a rubber match. Obviously, the wins don't matter, but it would have been so nice with just 2 series left. You have a homestand where you're probably not going to win that Astros series, even though you would love to spoil their playoff race. But at the very least, you have an opportunity here against the Royals, a team that's not in the playoffs either, not playing for anything either. You're at home. You're coming off the Trout 400 homer excitement. You capitalize off it yesterday with the win. You get a home run from Trout today. You get a home run from Joe Adell today. You get a home run from Nolan Schanuel today, and you still lose the ball game. And Mitch Ferris was okay. We'll talk about that. The bullpen absolutely collapsed. We'll talk about that. But I want to have a bigger discussion about the home run halos. And let's do that right now. But before we do, actually, shout out to everybody in here. Again, we're just a couple games left in this season. So the fact that you guys are in here, absolutely appreciate it. Angels win. He used to be. Now he's Angels lose. He says Artie sucks. Shout out to you. Meanwhile, or no, excuse me. He's referencing Artie sucks because there's another username in here that is Artie sucks. And he says, home runs don't win games. Small ball does. Well, that's a debate we're going to have. Shout out to you guys. Mark T is in here as well. And without further ado, let's get into that exact conversation.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's no other kind of conversation you can have after a game. I mean, of course, we'll talk about the bullpen struggling, and it's 2 guys that you kind of expect and want to be a part of this bullpen who have not given you much confidence that they'll be good members of your bullpen next season. We'll get to that in Mitch Ferris, but there's no way you watch this game and the takeaway isn't, man, the 3 guys that you want to see hit home runs, the 3 guys that you want to see play well because they're certainly going to be there next season trying to hit home runs. Mike Trout, Nolan Schanuel, Joe Adell, they all do it, and you still aren't even close to winning a ball game. You just sit there and you watch the game and you go, man, like, it was real fun the first half of the season when you're hitting 4 home runs a game. You're leading the league in homers. You're above 500 as a team because of it. And the question was always going to be, not is this sustainable? The question was going to be, when they cool off hitting the home runs, could they still win? Well, things have gotten so bad that now, even when you do hit the home runs, you lose the ball game. And of course, it doesn't matter right now, but there's no way you don't look forward to next season and go, man, this could be a problem. Like, we have to go get guys that are not like Mike Trout in big 2025, not like Joe Adell in big 2025. The Schanuel homer, that's a luxury, right? That's not his thing. He gets to a dozen here with this home run. And nobody's complaining that you have Joe Adell, who's hit 37 home runs, who instantly responds to the threat of Taylor Ward, who hit number 36 yesterday. Nobody's complaining that you have guys who hit home runs, by the way. It's the only reason the Angels even have 71 wins in their 71-88 record. But that being said, you got to go get other hitters. You have to do it, because the fact that you hit 3 home runs and you don't do anything else, you don't score any other runs, Like, come on, right? Like this could be a conversation about the pitching. You gave up 9 runs, but come on. Like, we know the Angels are going to give up runs. We know the Angels need to go acquire talented pitching. But the bigger concern is this is an offensive first team. And if your offense plays its A game and they only put up 4 runs, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how you can be confident going into next year. I know all the jokes with the Angels are Mike Trout was the first player since Mickey Mantle to do this in a 4-3 lot, right? That's the joke. Shohei Ohtani, the first player to ever strike out 5 and hit a home run in an Angels loss. Like, we know that's the meme, right? But the more concerning thing is when it's the Angels hit 3 home runs and they don't even make it an interesting game in the bottom of the 9th inning. They don't even have a chance to tie or win this game in the bottom of the 9th inning. And it's not just because the bullpen. Certainly that's a reason why. But man, 0 RBIs outside of home runs. And sometimes it's a runner in scoring position issue. Not really tonight. 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. That's fine. But you had 3 opportunities with runners in scoring position. The Royals had 8. The Royals left twice as many guys on base as the Angels. They leave 6 on base. You leave 3 on base. And yet they are substantially better than you with runners in scoring position. 4 of 8 compared to 1 of 3 because they actually put runners in scoring position, because they actually hit the freaking ball other than out, over the fence. 11 hits again. They strike out 9 times. And the Royals are like, man, we struck out 9 times. Certainly that's got to be higher than the team we're playing against. Nope. 13 Ks for the Angels. We talked about it yesterday. The Angels couldn't hit anything, but they didn't strike out 13 times for once. And just putting the ball in play gives you a shot. The Royals made a couple foolish errors. You got an unearned run, and you win a pitcher's duel. But right back, this is Exhibit A. Piece of evidence number 1 on why things have to change in terms of the construction of this team. You hit 3 home runs. You struck out 13 times, and you didn't walk at all. Again, that's the piece that this Angels team misses. There are guys in this league that make a bunch of money because they hit a bunch of home runs. They still strike out a bunch, but they also take a freaking walk. We are the only team that it's strikeout or home run, and you don't even take a walk. Like, come on. 0 walks. 13 Ks, 0 walks. And it's kind of crazy that I'm having this rant on a game where the Angels have 7 hits with all the games that they've had 3 or 4. But again, you watch the Angels in games where they have 3 hits and you go, yeah, I mean, what do we expect? Oswald Peraza can't hit a freaking baseball. Like, whatever. But when this team has 7 hits, when Mike Trout hits a 2-run shot, when Schanuel hits a solo shot, when Adell goes 2 for 4 with a homer, and you still put up 0 runs outside of that, you have 7 hits and you only score via the RBI or the home run. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's concerning, and it's a long-term concern until you go get other guys. As much as we hated the acquisitions of Kevin Newman and a Chris Taylor because they just suck, I think the Angels do need a guy or 2 like that that's quote-unquote boring to help this team. Now, boring and still good, I know people like a Stephen Kwan type of guy, right? And although Stephen Kwan isn't boring, right? He's kind of quite fun, actually. But you know what I mean? I saw people on the Real app I was on today, the sports app, they're making jokes about Frazier because when Frazier comes in and gets a base hit, everyone's like, well, of course he gets a base hit. That's all he does. He only has 7 home runs. And 267 isn't even that amazing. But guys, 267 on this team, it'd be first place. Nolan Schanuel's first place with a 267 batting average, right? So you're going to need to go get a guy or 2 like that. And I don't see the Angels spending big money on a guy or 2 like that because Artie Moreno, we know it's entertainment and sell tickets first, and spending a bunch of money on a guy who's going to hit 4 home runs in a season, Artie Moreno's not going to do that, right? But if you're a smart baseball team, you go get a couple guys that can hit a base hit, that can steal a base, that have an above average glove, a Bryce T, but not a Bryce T who's 26 and mid, I'm sorry, and we treat like an A+ prospect because he just hasn't played Major League Baseball yet. Like, get a Bryce T, but, oh, by the way, it's not a B+ glove and a C+ bat. It's, and A- speed. It's A- speed with an A- glove and an A- contact bat. And if the power's C, who cares? That's the type of guy you need to go get. And I just don't have any confidence we're going to do it because it's not entertaining. It's not what sells tickets, and that's all that matters here. But it would certainly be nice. It certainly would be. Now, of course, we do have to celebrate the fact that there are 3 home runs. I don't want to act like that can't be acknowledged. Joe Adell, again, the irony that Taylor Ward ties him at 36 yesterday, and he says, not so fast, my friend. Hits number 37. It's been a phenomenal season for him. I'm not asking guys like Joe Adell to become contact hitters. I'm not asking that, right? I'm very clear in that if a guy has a build, has a role, and gets that done, that's fine. And as much as I lament and hate how Taylor Ward doesn't know what sprinting is in the outfield on defense, how he loves to strike out in big moments, the guy this season, and really last season too, basically just, he didn't say it verbally, but with his play, you can tell, he said, dang it, I'm a slugger now. And if he said, dang it, I'm a slugger now and hit 220, but only had 10 home runs, I'd rip into him. But he said, dang it, I'm a slugger now, and he has 36 home runs and over 100 RBIs. Joe Adell, I don't think he's ever going to be a contact guy, but guess what? He became an elite slugger. The guy has a 786 OPS, which still is not elite, by the way, but for the Angels it is. But 37 home runs, 97 RBIs is still a heck of a season. If that average is 250 instead of 237, this is an all-star, right? So Joe Adell deserves his credit, hits another one, 37th in the second inning, and it came after Mitch Ferris immediately puts us in a 2-0 deficit. Love that we're able to get one back in the second. It becomes 3-1, though. Then it becomes 4-1. Fortunately, the Angels still show life despite falling behind 4-1. They get the homer from Nolan Schanuel in the 6th inning. Solo shot again, disappointing. But again, this is a luxury to have Nolan Schanuel hit a home run. This is a guy who knows what he is. He's a contact hitter first. He's a get on base and on base percentage guy first. And then he sneaks in a home run or two. And that's why I argue in person with Angels win or now Angels lose. Nolan Schanuel is one of the best guys on this team because he understands his role and then occasionally does more than his role. But he never goes below his role. He never strikes out 3 times in a game. He never fails to get a sac fly or a ground ball to score a guy. He never fails at that. And he deserves a lot of credit for that. He really, really does. And then he gives you this, right? Mike Trout, a lot of debate, all that, but it's been a good, nice end of the season for him. You hit home run number 400, and now you begin the road to number 500 with number 401 and another absolute laser, 108 off the bat, 2-run shot. This was not a meaningless home run because it's 5-2. It makes it 5-4. It makes it interesting. There's so much excitement, and I'm sarcastic with that, but there's excitement at the Big A more than there was the entire game when 5-2 becomes 5-4 via a Mike Trout homer. Imagine if the Angels had a competent bullpen and you give this team even an opportunity to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th. Do they do it? Who freaking knows? Probably not, because unless they hit a home run, they don't know how to score. But still, you don't even give them a chance because you blow up in the top of the 9th, and you know that's where we're going after our break. We'll talk about what happened pitching-wise in terms of bullpen blowing a nice comeback opportunity for the offense and blowing what was an average start from Mitch Ferris that we'll talk about as well after our break here on another losing edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. I will be right back. Now, I don't think it was in yet. Now, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Look, the NFL season, it's here. It's not just here. It's well underway. I don't know if you were watching that Cardinals-Seahawks game. It was a fun ball game. It really, really was. I was watching that while I was watching the Angels game. But the NFL season, it is here. And FanDuel wants to make sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Now, again, I always say it. We live in California. We don't get to use FanDuel. But every single time, I'm not even lying, every single time I have been out of the state of California, in a state where it's legal, when I was in Michigan, visiting my friend in Ann Arbor, when I was in New York, when I'm down south, in certain states you're allowed to, I always use FanDuel. Why? The interface is the best. The live betting, which is the best part of betting, in my opinion, it's quick, it's efficient. You get the bet in the in-between pitches, it works. So don't waste any time. Plus, they've got great promotions like this one where betting $5 and winning gets you $300 free. So are you ready to play? If so, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. And today's show is also brought to you by, I know, going to be some jokes, but I'm telling you, it's a great product. It's a great product, all right? We're talking about Rugiet. Rugiet. You've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. I'll be honest, I'm 23, I haven't, but maybe you have. But, if you're looking for something beyond that usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Go Long. That's where Rugiet Go Long comes in. It's not just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects can last up to 36 hours. So that's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next freaking day if you want to be prepared. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. So if you're ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom, head to rugiet.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use your code so they know Gavin, he sent you. Highly sarcastic there. Make sure you go use it, but don't say Gavin sent you. I'm sorry. That's just weird. You know what else is weird? Hitting 3 home runs with 3 guys you want to see hit home run. And I'm in here pissed off because the Angels found a way to lose. They found a way to not even make it close. And that's what's most frustrating. They blow an opportunity to win a series for the first time since what? Freaking 1900s. I mean, it's been forever, right? Since the Angels have won a series. It certainly feels like that. And they don't even make it close. That's the other frustrating thing. A 5-4 deficit it became in the bottom of the 8th, thanks to a 2-run shot from Mike Trout, all for nothing. Now I'm curious, when is the last time the Angels won a series? I guess it actually wasn't that far. It was in the middle of the month against the Twins, but, it's been a lot of losing other than that. How did the Angels turn this 5-4 game into a blowout loss? Well, a 4-run top of the 9th inning for the Kansas City Royals, and it's back to being the Los Angeles Angels bullpen because Sam Bachman comes in to replace Zephyr John, who, oh, by the way, Zephyr John gave up a run in the 8th that made it 5-2. If he didn't do that and it was 4-2, that Trout homer would have tied it. But guess what? None of it freaking mattered because Sam Bachman came in and he, despite striking out the first guy, gives up a base hit. Pinch runner comes in. He gets a fly out. There's 2 outs and a runner on first base. But then what? Base hit to Bobby Witt Jr. on not a fluky base hit, 111.5 off the bat, by the way. Then he walks past Quintino, and then Salvi Perez with the bases juice. 1-2 pitch, you're right there. Everyone knows Sam Bachman on 1-2 is throwing the slider. If you throw it actually down and away, he probably swings and miss. But instead, it's a down and away slider, but in the zone. Salvi Perez has played way too much baseball in his career to not expect Sam Bachman to throw a slider on the outside corner here. And because it catches the plate, he gets all of it. I mean, all of it. It was this close to being a grand slam. 106.5 off the bat, 400 feet, the tail of the tape. And it's not a homer. It's not a grand slam, but it is a bases clearing double. And just like that, 5-4 becomes 8-4. What's even more frustrating is Sam Bachman gets it to 2 strikes again. 2 strikes again. All you got to do is lock in. You got Yastrzemski to swing and miss on an 0-1 slider, on a front foot slider, down and in. You go with the changeup, he takes it. You go back to the slider, and you absolutely hang it right down the middle. And Yastrzemski, he rips it 102 off the bat. So that's the thing. Baseball, it's a confusing sport. You can score a bunch of runs hitting the ball 70 miles an hour off the bat. But that's not what happened, right? Perez absolutely rips the double. It should have been a grand slam. Bobby Witt Jr.'s base hit, it was absolutely scorched. And the Yastrzemski there, absolutely scorched as well. You're leaving pitches over the heart of the plate. You're getting rocked, Sam Bachman. You're getting rocked. Now, Zephyr John wasn't much better. Gave up a double to Bobby Witt Jr. This one was only hit 91 off the bat, but still, Bobby Witt Jr. with the double. You peg Salvi Perez. You walk Mike Yastrzemski. You load the bases, and then Frazier comes through with a base hit. You're not going to – the baseball gods, as much as they might have pity on the Angels, as much as Angels in the outfield might be a funny phrase, you can't give up a double, hit a guy, walk a guy to load the bases, and expect to not give up a freaking run. So brutal outing from the bullpen tonight. Bachman's final stat line, 1 inning in that ninth, 4 hits and a walk, 4 earned runs. Zephyr John, 2 hits and a walk with the earned run. Connor Brogdon, who's been brutal this season, ironically, he's the one who has 2 scoreless innings with 3 Ks, but none of it mattered because the rest of the bullpen blew it. And then there's Mitch Ferris, who had another start. And again, did the ERA go up with this start? Yes. Is the ERA 6.66 in his early career through 5 starts? Yes. But, I mean, can you really ask anything else of Mitch Ferris, a 24-year-old former 14th round pick? Like, can you expect more than the guy to come in and he gave you 5 innings? He only gave up 5 hits. He only gave up 2 walks. Unfortunately, he gave up a home run that was pretty costly, a 2-run first inning, 4 earned runs overall. I mean, but he got through 5 innings and 84 pitches. If you really wanted to, he could have tried to maybe get through the 6th inning. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go, this guy stinks, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to keep repeating it. If Mitch Ferris is in the rotation at any point next season, the Angels stink. And bad news, the Angels stink, so he probably will be. That's not an indictment on Mitch Ferris. He's a 24-year-old who's not supposed to be good. He's a guy that should be trying to leverage these opportunities into a long reliever role on the Angels or a long reliever role somewhere else. And he might, because he's able to, at times, get out, be productive, be efficient. He doesn't have crazy stuff or anything. But I think a lot of the Angels pitchers that have this high upside stuff, the Caden Danas, the Jose Sorianos, they can learn from watching Mitch Ferris pitch at times, how he's a pitcher, maybe not a thrower. He certainly wasn't great, but whatever. It was decent, and it should have been enough to have a close game going into the 9th inning, a coin flip game. There it is, and we did not get that. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Shout out to everybody in here. Eric's here, DH is here, Dusty's here, Mohoko's here, Dylan's here, my guy. Shout out to all of you. Have a great rest of your Thursday night. We'll be back here tomorrow night. I've got an exciting day tomorrow. Outside of work, of course, I'm going to sign an apartment lease, baby. So unfortunately, the Locked On Angels community won't get to see it because I'm literally probably moving in, or, at least I get the keys on Monday. And of course, the Angel season ends on Sunday. It's a bummer. You guys are going to miss out on seeing what my new setup will look like. But certainly, if you're following the Locked On Rams squad show, which has been amazing, and the Locked On UCLA postcast, which will make its return from the bye week on Saturday, eventually you guys are going to see the new place, and you're going to see the new background. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I haven't even picked the room yet with my roommates, but pretty soon there'll be a new studio. I'm hoping it looks, I think this looks pretty good for makeshift moving back into my childhood home and, trying to make it something. But when I go new place, I'm making this place have 2 purposes: somewhere where I sleep and somewhere where I have a nice setup in the background. That is the goal. So yes, Jesse, shout out to you. You're absolutely right. It is something to look forward to next season, the new background, and hopefully a new roster for the Angels to make a new trek at finally making the playoffs. Shout out to DH. Thank you. Deshaun, always with so many kind words. Deshaun, you're the man. He says, congrats. Appreciate you guys. Mark T says, still great to be here with you, Gavin. Win or lose. Thank you, man. Eric, it's not my last show. I'm just getting sappy. I don't really know why. But the moral of the story is tomorrow I'm going to sign my lease, and that's why I'm excited about tomorrow. You know what else would make tomorrow amazing? If a giveaway where the Angels are giving away an Angels jersey for free, the Houston Astros come to town in the middle of an AL wildcard race, and you could just stab them in their heart. Sorry if that was violent, but you could just end those playoff hopes with a win tomorrow, maybe 2 wins in the series. What, the Astros are officially tied now in the wild card, so you might need to win 2 out of 3 to spoil them. But what's great about baseball, what's great about this fan base is even with the Angels at 71 and 88, there will be a lot of people at the Big A tomorrow to watch the Houston Astros as you try to beat them. They are technically, they're not a game back. They are technically tied, I guess, with, no, actually they're a game back. I don't know why it's not saying they're a game back, but they are a game back. The Tigers have 1 more win and 1 less loss. So the Tigers are have 1 game lead on the Astros with 3 games to play. If you could beat them once, maybe beat them twice, you will make sure that the Houston Astros are not in the playoffs. But we'll see you back here tomorrow night. Another late start, another late show. Excited for it, though. See you on Friday night. For now, have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll see you back here tomorrow, and go Angels.